Where's this Metatron video?
Hello noble ones, welcome back to my channel.
We need to talk about Destiny.
No, this is the Metatron speaking. You know how a few days ago I made a video dedicated to talking about Hassan Piker? Well, today we've got another one, as you know, and this video is dedicated to Destiny. Now, whatever you may think about Destiny's ability to speak, debate, positions, rhetoric, political analysis is all completely irrelevant. Okay. Because as it was the case with Hassan Piker, he too has crossed multiple lines. I used to watch his debates sometimes. I watched him debate Andrew Wilson, I watched him debate Ben Shapiro, and in general I enjoyed listening to positions from both sides in order for me to maintain an open mind and seeing how people counter arguments that otherwise you would only hear within echo chambers. However, I completely stopped watching him after he made fun of the firefighter who lost his life during President Trump's assassination attempt. At that point, I thought that Stephen Bonnell had reached his new low, his lowest point, but boy was I wrong. It seems like that similarly to Piker Boy, Destiny has also been calling for political violence for a while and appears to have had no repercussions when it comes to possible deplatforming or even legal procedures when it...
No possible repercussions. You know I'm permabanned from Twitch, right? Do people not do any research at all? Wait, what is this clip? Wait, how many years? Is this like 8 years old? How long ago did I live? This is when I lived in Glendale. This is from 2019? Okay, based.
Comes to that so far.
And I'm playing, are we playing PUBG? Oh shit, I'm probably gonna some wild shit. What are we gonna say?
Watch.
I'm ready for the fucking, the great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Okay, first of all, conversation I'm having while running around playing a video game. This is my serious political commentary. Okay, based. Very much so. This was later. Oh, this was even earlier. Oh, that's Devin. How old is this one? 2018? I wonder what the context is.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. I've moved full on to like the political violence level or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they're demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people would use.
True. Yeah, you instead are a saint.
And then I just hate them because they tend to come. Yeah. Again, I said this is going to be a point I'm going to hit hard for the next 6 months. This concept of politics is when I talk, and that's all it is. And as long as I'm only talking and only doing politics, it can't possibly hurt anybody or harm anybody, is the it is the most privileged position. It is a luxury position to take. It's just politics. It's just talking. Nobody's really getting hurt, LOL. There are too many examples, especially now under Trump 2, where this is just not the case. Like, if you want to do politics, then you have to grow up and be a big boy and realize that when you advocate for unhinged, crazy, insane shit, that there are going to be people that take unhinged, crazy positions in response to it. That's how the world has always worked through all of human history. And it will continue to be how it works. Destroy the outcomes related to this country, which is what I'm concerned with. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a topic I'm not yet sort of ready to touch.
No, conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies. This is more recent, thank God. Okay, but for the firefighter thing, true. Doesn't get shot or whatever the fuck. True. Okay, because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. True. Like, there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again. It's exclusively bad stuff that happens. True. Conservatives have been
I think you have been disgusting for years. The logic.
Yeah, okay.
Idiocy of trying to tell us that laughing and making fun of Pelosi's husband's situation is horrific and ending up doing the same thing. Hypocrite. Of course.
And then this, yeah, I don't know. This is also another thing I'm going to keep harping on. Responding to an event by doing the same thing that the other person does is not actually the same thing, right? If I tell you, wow, that guy just punched that other guy, and you go, holy shit, that's bad. But then I go, well, the other guy punched him first. Well, that changes things meaningfully, right? If the left, which I believe they firmly are, I know that I'm at this position, and I know most of the other people on the left are, if the left says, hey, we should all stop doing political violence, wouldn't that be great? If the right would do it, that's different than saying, oh, well, if the right's not going to disavow any of this, then I'm not going to. Do you see the difference, right? The right is not willing to bring it down no matter what. The right doesn't follow the lead of the left and say, okay, you're right. We should all like tone it down a little bit. Anytime the left capitulates, the right just capitalizes on it. That is a cancerous It's a cancerous relationship where one side is constantly taking advantage of and abusing the other and members of their own side. As you see Charlie Kirk's corpse being drug around by his widow wife and the rest of the people who are even loosely affiliated with him or the administration in order to push their political agenda. I wish these people, to be fair, maybe this guy does have a lot of criticism for that other side, but it's always funny to me that somebody can listen to Trump or the Republicans say disgusting thing after abhorrent thing, after insane thing, after violent thing, after pulling funding from, bombing, whatever. And then they hear me say some shit like, fuck these people. These people don't belong in my fucking country. These people aren't Americans. I'm like, wow, that was the line for me. I can't believe that he would say that. Back to civility politics with the right. It's a fucking joke.
Making fun of what happened to Pelosi is wrong, was wrong, should be condemned, but you did the same thing. So you're no better than the people you say you hate.
Okay.
You should hate yourself now.
He's a centrist who's actually a massive conservative, basically Adam from Adam and Stitch. Oh, is he? Okay, that would explain this then, yeah.
There are plenty of people in this world who have never made fun or laughed at someone else's misfortunes. You're not one of them. So what happens? This is, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. Let's have a look at what kind of posts he has produced after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, shall we? For instance, there is this clip during a Piers Morgan Uncensored.
And I'm going to keep pushing against this. Yeah, dude, all the people whose only exposure to you being edgelord retard are totally going to get your point. A lot more people are in the position than people who will get your point. You're retarded. The only reason why they see anything at all is because that's what conservatives show them. And Hutch has the same lack of understanding as well. And so do most of the people that make this argument. When you say things like, oh, well, if you just didn't say that, then they wouldn't say that about you. Then they wouldn't say anything about me. The conservatives would just find somebody else to copy paste an argument from. That's how it works. It's not like they're going to say, it's not like conservatives are going to go, oh, look at all these people on the left disavowing, because we've played this game over and 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 over again, right? What did we just see Josh Shapiro do when his own fucking house was set on fire? Was come out and disavow all political violence. He didn't blame one side, right? We see the same. What did Joe Biden do when political violence happened? He came out and he said that everybody needs to tone it the fuck down. It's not the same. At some point, maybe it will be, but right now it's not. And liberals playing into this delusional fantasy that this cucklord wants us to play into, where, oh, well, if liberals just keep disavowing, eventually they'll come down. Stupid.
Following statement was made. Stop calling everyone you disagree with Nazis. There is a real world out there, and your words can make people pick up guns. I agree, 100%. What does Mr. Bonnell say in response to that? You know what actually legitimizes widespread violence? ? The President of the United States constantly reminding people that the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Close quotes. The words spoken, the claims made by the President of the United States do not legitimize any form of widespread violence. And
this guy's just retarded. Why am I linked to this guy? What?
This type of mentality that causes outcomes such as what happened to Charlie Kirk. And mind you, this post...
Hold on. What? Me tweeting out, calling out the rhetoric that literally led to the entire J6 insurrection is actually the rhetoric that radicalizes people?
was fraudulent. Violence? ? The President of the United States constantly reminding people that the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Close quotes. The words spoken, the claims made by the President of the United States do not legitimize any form of widespread violence. And in this type of mentality...
But it literally did, right? Not only did it instigate that violence, he literally pardoned all the people that were violent on his behalf afterwards. He literally pardoned all of them when he came into office.
It causes outcomes such as what happened to Charlie Kirk. And mind you, this post was made 23 hours ago, which means after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. No. Whatever statement made by the President of the United States legitimizes you to use your words to disagree or make debunking videos if that's what you want to do. That's what it legitimizes.
Oh my God, dude. I hate YouTube. YouTube was a mistake. All of these people being involved. Why can't they just follow? There's got to be some other meme. Like, go follow, like, video game lore or something. What? Like, you don't have a real opinion. You're not a real human being. Like, politics is for YouTube debate videos. Politics is just for debunking. LOL. Who cares at the end of the day? Meanwhile, the president invokes the Alien Enemies Act for deportation policy, invokes national emergencies to tariff literally the entire fucking world. But it's just words, LOL.
This is you to do. I guess you could strike as long as you keep it peaceful, but that's it. What else did he post? Let's check this one on his page.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn. He's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn. He's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually...
Now we're playing 4-second clips? Okay. I'm sorry. I like to apologize. You're not allowed to hate somebody after they died. I hope that when I die, I hope everybody says, I didn't hate Destiny. He was a beautiful... I didn't hate him. Now that he's dead, I'm not going to hate him. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Charlie Kirk is a Satan spawn, according to... And somehow CNN showed that. Absolutely, CNN showed this tolerance. I am sure that the left is going to be packed of new people moving from the center, thinking, man, you know what? This is...
If the rhetoric is so important, why is it okay for the President of the United States to engage in this nonstop for 10 years? Or the plethora of other conservative figures that we watched earlier. The Bill O'Reillys, the Sean Hannitys, the Glenn Becks, the Michael Savages. Oh, one that I didn't cover, who also used to be incredibly vitriolic, was Ann Coulter. I don't know if she was ever as popular on TV or radio. I think she had a radio show for a while. She was did books as well. But
This is what I really want. You convinced me now that yeah. This is exactly the 12th of September. 12th of September. And what he has to say about it, make a joke and change it into was.
absolutely fucking based.
That's why these people are the enemy of the left before being the enemy of the right. They are the reason so many centrists are turning right-wing. And they are the reason why so many moderate...
Remember, this is a failure of messaging if that's the case, right? If it's the case that one side can advocate for violence, can talk about the existential threat of all the radical leftists over and over and over, if the conservatives can do this for 10 years, and someone on the left going, you guys are fucking crazy, you're fascists, and we're not going to disavow violence anymore until you do. If that's what it takes for people to be like, oh, fuck, well, I'm going to go join the right, these were never real people anyway. These weren't serious people anyway. They've already been captured by right-wing messaging, if that's the case. It's the same type of person who's like, I don't trust the CDC anymore because I think they made a mistake, so now I listen to Alex Jones for my healthcare information. That's not a real position. That's not a position that a real human being can maintain through any sort of like intellectual interrogation, okay? These are meme positions that are sold to you by conservatives.
Before being the enemy of the right. They are the reason so many centrists are turning right-wing. And they are the reason why so many moderate lefties are turning centrist. Prove me wrong. Now, of course, he made more videos about it. Let's have a look. Is he being at least basically decent? I'm not asking for him to like Charlie Kirk.
The decency. God, this civility cuckoldry. Oh my God. It's so... Oh, and especially if he's a conservative. He's just weaponizing this against the left, right? Or maybe, I could be wrong, maybe he has made a video talking about how disappointed he is in the right or in Donald Trump related to some kind of terrorist attack or his rhetoric. Does anybody know? Does he have anything criticizing Trump for not turning down the rhetoric, for getting people to chill? Channel news and epic montage. Trump. Does he have nothing? Wait, why did these things come up for Trump? Is it in the transcript or the... Oh, he has nothing at all. Really? Wait. Automatic or manual? Oh, fascism or authoritarianism here?
Trump will talk to complete, utter, total, and then we have a little Elon Musk in here. Let me see what they're going to say. In contemporary times, the Roman salute is frequently associated with fascism and authoritarianism. However, the gesture has resurfaced in different contexts. For instance, during the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump. We'll talk about this in a second. I'll give you my opinion. In January 2025, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, caused a stir when he performed a Roman salute during his speech. Many viewers, especially in social media, were confused by the gesture. Musk's action revived debate about the Roman salute meaning, given which is why you made this. As you can see, this is why they made this, and they just used AI slop, including for the pictures, illustration via whatever that is, and they got it from nonsense, complete, utter garbage. This is what it is. And by the way, when it comes to this statue of Marcus Aurelius, this is not a Roman salute in the sense of the fascist salute. It depends on what, if you look at it from a lower angle, you could twist it with a good photography, but the reality is it's not a raised arm like this. It's not 45 degrees. It's a lower arm, and it's just sort of addressing the crowd, if you will, and it's just a gesture of power, as I was explaining, but it is not the same thing. And if we go to censor one stop, once again, nonsense, AI slop, the Roman salute, a historical and cultural examination. Yeah, it's a nice title. It's not what it says it is. As you see, it explains shoulder height, downward, forward, blah, blah, blah. History.
Wait. Eat fresh, hello.
Historical origins of the Roman salute, ancient Rome. The roots of the Roman salute lie, yeah, it is a lie, in the rituals and customs of ancient Rome. The salute was likely used in the Roman military in the former state functions where soldiers or citizens would raise their right arm as a gesture, so citizens would raise their right arm. Muppet, find another 50. I don't hate him. But the other thing is that I would like to speak a little bit about the situation that happened with Mr. Musk. Personally, I don't hate him. I don't worship him. I'm kind of indifferent. When he does something silly, like the Path of Exile 2 fiasco, I think it's silly and I say it. When he does something amazing, like what he does with Neuralink, helping people that couldn't move, I do praise that. And so I have a little bit of a, as I say, it's kind of a neutral stance when it comes to the man. I mean, he's a billionaire, so it's not like I relate to the billionaire class in any way, shape, or form. But here we are. I was just giving you context to know that there's no politics involved in this. I don't particularly care. I'm just telling you, he did what he did during the inauguration of President Donald Trump in America. And I would like to underline what I think that is. And there are three interpretations that I would like to give. Then you choose which one you think is the most accurate. Or maybe you give me a completely different one. It's up to you. So when it comes to this situation and what happened with Elon Musk, I think it's either one or three things. Taking into removing for a second the possibility that he was onto something, in the sense that he was under the influence of something, and therefore that created erratic behavior. Removing that option for a second, it's one or three things. Either he's doing it, knowing exactly what he's doing, and he is signaling to the fascists. This, to me, is the least likely. Another possibility is that due to the fact that usually there is a certain contingent within the far left that calls everyone a fascist or everyone an N-A-Z-I, maybe this was his way to troll them. Be like, you always call me that, I'm just going to do it, since at the end of the day, guy's untouchable because of his net worth. So it is possible that he was trolling. I would put this in maybe. This is a likely possibility in my opinion, also because of the fact that he justified it immediately after. So he did this, and then he said, my heart goes to you, which kind of feels like I'm giving myself a way out, because of course people are going to backlash and whatnot. And so he's going to say, oh no, I meant that my heart was going to you. So that gives me that feeling. But the other possibility, ladies and gentlemen, we should not remove this, is that he hasn't got a clue what that salute means, in the sense that maybe he does think he's doing a Roman salute. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like Elon Musk knows much about history. He is, however, obsessed with the Roman Empire. So am I. So it's not like I'm saying I don't think about the Roman Empire every day.
Isn't it crazy that this guy will go back and dig through and find like 20-second clips of me from 7 or 8 years ago to prove that I am actively calling for violence? But Elon Musk, the guy who purchased the largest like news-related social media platform in the world, and then was campaigning explicitly for Donald Trump, and then was putting himself on stages for Donald Trump, gets this level of charitability? What the fuck?
More properly, Trump is
Maybe in another video? What's this?
Trump campaign. Hello?
Fuck. Wait, what was the timestamp for this?
Trump campaign, as they watch a video of mine, and then they tell me, shame on you, how could you do that to me? I'm out of here. Metatron being sponsored by presidential candidates. Seriously, people, who do you think I am? So what happened is there's this individual probably got a random ad, considering the fact that we are, you know, in the American election year, and this was an ad by the
Oh, he's mad. I hate this professor attacking Vanity Fair. What is
and
this?
all he does is push Trump. I would be like, hold on a minute,
What is this?
why are you clickbaiting me and pushing politics into something that was promised to me as being something that was supposed to be about mythology, history? It would be all the same, okay? So I'm not just being unfair and just attacking the left. As I say, I'm very moderate, so I tend to attack both sides. It's just that, as you can see, in this case, it's that kind of political pushing.
Honest question, what do you think Elon did or meant by the salute? There are only two possibilities, realistically. One is that it was a Nazi salute. I don't think Elon Musk is a Nazi. Personally, I don't think. Although, man, he doesn't do himself any favors, casting his lot in with the whole South African white genocide meme, the Tommy Robinson in the United Kingdom about how non-white immigration is ruining the UK, saying that the victory of the AfD is like a necessity for Germany, otherwise the country would be like, he doesn't do himself any favors, but there's only two places it can come from. One is he just did a fucking Nazi salute because he thought it'd be epic and based. Or two, that he's an actual Nazi. The idea that like, oh no, it's a Roman salute. This is a thing that nobody seriously believes on the internet. Nobody knows what the fuck a Roman salute is outside of the fucking... nobody knows what this is outside of like neo-Nazi communities that obsess over like fucking Roman history and paste all the statues and everything else. Nobody in school, nobody in your college, nobody's like throwing up Roman salutes. That is the most retarded fucking thing in the universe. And anybody that argues this, oh no, like it's a common thing. Nobody, absolutely fucking nobody was doing this. And anybody that says otherwise is absolutely gaslighting the fuck out of you. Don't ever believe any retard that tries to, oh no, it's really common. People, really common, but I can't find an example of any elected official ever doing it. There's a history of all of US politics, and the only examples I can find of Elon Musk are the ones where he just did it right now. Bullshit. I don't know. That's bullshit.
but with clickbait. Then make your channel politics. Vanity Fair can be Vanity Fair politics, and then I won't complain about it. You know, it's your freedom of speech. Say whatever you want, push whatever side you want. But in this case, it annoys me because in the food stylist, I'm going to click it. That you're going to be, hello, I'm a food specialist, gender sexuality specialist, and I talk about LGBTQ issues in the salad I just made for breakfast. It's just.
Oh man, wait, okay, wait, these two. I'm not gonna go through this guy's entire fucking channel for this. What did he say about Flint?
Yeah, Metatron, but are you sure that it's true? You will show you. You know that I have 9 tabs up there? Oh, I'll defend this point. I will defend this point because we need to consider all the factors that lead to a result. To be thorough about this, we need to see all the factors. Why is this thing happening the way it's happening? He's presented one possibility. Oh, it's because right-wingers love the stuff Graham Hancock does. Maybe. But maybe we should also factor in how usually and aren't moderate like me tend to call the guy. Why would you, like, you're a white supremacist and a racist, you're pushing white supremacy, oh, he doesn't come to my podcast, he only goes to the podcast on the right wing. Well, maybe ask yourself why, is all I'm going to say here.
Well, why would that, I don't understand why people think that it's legitimate that people can bully you into an entirely different political ideology. That's crazy to me. Like, just to be clear, this Graham Hancock guy, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but he believes in the lost civilization of Atlantis and that there were huge cities that existed, you know, that are now lost, buried underwater, that we've just for some reason have never been able to find anywhere ever. Somehow there's no evidence, but they exist like right off the coast or they're in the ocean somewhere. Like the Graham Hancock guy is absolutely just fucking insane. He's a lunatic.
You're not a racist, Metatron, but look at your chat right now. Well, you know what? I'll have a look at the chat, but this idea that, as I told you, my...
Oh my God. Is he hitting all of me? Is he about to do the thing? It's like, well, I can't control my chat. I can't control my community. I have no idea why. Wait, hold on. He's not. I'm sorry. I need to stop cutting him off.
You're not a racist, Metatron, but look at your chat right now. Well, you know what? I'll have a look at the chat, but this idea that, as I told you, my audience is mixed. Everyone is welcome here, and as long as you don't push complete, utter hatred, if you don't push hatred, I don't care. I don't care if you say something. I don't know, I'm offended by it. I'm not offended. I don't get offended by anything. Let's see, Joe Rogan is also a liberal, says...
I don't get offended by anything? He seems pretty ass-pained about the shit that I've said.
Well, I think by now, I think Joe Rogan used to be a left-winger, back in the day, though. He used to be like an old-school Democrat, the way I understand it. Then he became a JFK Jr. supporter, and then he became like a Trump supporter, right? That's the way I understand it. So I would describe him now as right-wing. I don't know if he's right-leaning and still maintains some ideas from his left-wing past, or if he's going full right-wing. I don't know, because I'm not that much into politics. But in general, that's where we are. Thank you very much.
Notice that he's not that much into politics, but he knows all the right-wing talking points, right? When the woke people call everybody racist and Nazi, of course, people are going to join other podcasts. When they don't allow them to speak it, like he knows all the talking points, even though he's not that political.
Tony Slock. Let's continue. Yeah, you are mixed. I did call you mixed. Yeah, I mean mixed politically, but even you guys, I look at the analytics. You don't. You guys come from all over the place. I got people from all over, and I'm happy about it. I love it. But please, Mr. Flint, continue.
Back in the 90s.
Okay, last thing. What is this?
But Sir Trump basically reenact whatever it is that the right wing is pushing. I don't even know. I would have done it if it was a video all about feminism, this and Trump and that in Dragon Age. Why is Trump in Dragon Age? Of course, I'm not going to appreciate that, and I would have said it. So it doesn't matter to me if you put Sir Trump in the Dragon Age, or if you put Count Bite them in Dragon Age. They don't belong in Dragon Age, and that's as simple as it is. Like, I don't care if, in fact, if you can find me whatever it is that they're pushing in history, particularly when it comes to like taking history and not even rewriting it, reshaping it to our own image. I don't care who does it, left or right. You just send it to me, I'll debunk them, as I have demonstrated multiple times on this platform. But when it comes to the games, it's clear what is happening with Dragon Age, and yeah, that's the situation, guys. I'm just being honest with you. I'm respectful of your opinions. If you disagree with me on whatever take, I'm glad to have you here, regardless. You know, your politics, your religion, lack thereof, whatever you like, not a problem. You're not. I can see the comments. You're not toxic individuals. You're welcome. Let's have a coffee. Let's talk like civil people. Anyways, let's. Here's another thing that I wanted to discuss. 1335. But let me. Biden is a fraud, particularly in human affairs. Not to mention the fact that history needs to be recorded in order for it to be history. And there is also the small aspect of having actual evidence that plays a pivotal. People saying that Biden is a robot. So at this point, Biden is a robot and J.D. Vance is a golem. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, I don't know. This guy doesn't even seem like he does that many politics on the channel, I guess, as much.
That would be a lie, clearly. So I appreciate honesty. But what
was this guy's motivation for even making these videos? We need to talk about Destiny. What do I even have to do with this guy's content ordinarily? Or Hassan?
Is he saying? Is he being decent? Decent and Destiny are two Ds you will never see together anywhere.
His views are
He says, don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death. You're going to be joking. His body was still warm and his wife is still grieving, and this is what he does. And by the way, he was mocking his wife as well.
His wife is still grieving as she's out here posting videos of her stroking his hand at the casket and talking about how the forces of good and evil need to rise up and we need to get more recruitment for TPUSA, and is sending out emails to... Okay, dude.
As she was like kneeling in front of the casket crying, and he was mocking her. This guy is vile. This guy is anything and everything he accuses the opposite side to be. So whenever this guy...
This is also, again, this is like so telling when they say this, that you are everything you accuse the other side of being. If the other side only said mean things, I would have no fucking problem. That's not the issue that we're running into right now. But when you're a retard YouTuber who doesn't give a fuck or follow anything or care about anything, oh, I guess politics is just people talking on the internet. That's not really what the issue is. But when that's the extent to which your engagement with politics, you know, starts and ends, it's like, oh, things that people say online. Okay.
See someone vile on the other side, which of course exists. Vile people exist everywhere. There are vile people in my religion, Christianity. That doesn't make Christianity wrong. It just makes the people who are within Christianity that happen to be vile, vile. And this is what people like him are doing. They take a full group and they apply the worst rhetoric from a single bad apple onto the entire group, and then they...
A single bad apple? Donald Trump is a single bad apple? What?
say their call to actions for violence. This is the difference. This is an important aspect that needs to be underlined. Do not take bad apples and apply them to everyone. Take the bad apples and hold them accountable. But he says, don't apologize.
This is this is the myth, right, of the radical left and the radical right, that we need to disavow the radical sides. Except the right says that the entire left is radical. But on the right, it's literally the entirety of the Conservative Party is MAGA.
For Charlie Kirk's death. Excuse me, what? First of all, who is asking to apologize? Look at the mental manipulation there. No one is asking someone who didn't do anything to apologize. However, if there is someone like you who has been constantly pushing for violence, violence, violence onto people you disagree with, yes, you should apologize, but you won't because you wanted this. He said it, he stated it. He said this is what he wanted. This is the America he wants to live in. An America where people cannot freely express their ideas without the fear of being gunned down like animals. This is the America he wants, which is why he's now doubling down and saying, don't apologize. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Tell me my analysis is incorrect.
This sounds like a bad thing to say. This sounds like a bad thing to say, and people don't like to think of it this way, but
it is a bad thing to say.
The reality is there are like 4 different worlds that we can live in, and it relates to like this concept of like a prisoner's dilemma. In the prisoner's dilemma, I think a lot of people talk about this. I don't know how many people are aware of how it actually works, but for prisoner's dilemma, the issue with it is
who speaks faster, XQC or Destiny? Enunciation. If you want, I can give you some diction lessons, Destiny. Since I am, after all, a professional language teacher, you need to learn to enunciate.
Paradoxical. Apparently people can understand me just fine. That's why your blown the fuck out asshole is making a video on me, so set up kind of where there is a positive outcome for 2 different players. However, both players basically become incentivized using logic to take the worst outcome, basically, for collectively. So you have 2 different people who are caught, and the 2 people who are caught are being interrogated by the police. And then the question is do you cooperate with the police and rat out your friend, or do you not cooperate with the police? I shouldn't be using cooperate, or do you not work with the police and then you cooperate with your friend? So, that's supposed to be phrased, right? Okay, we'll say prisoner 1 cooperates.
Okay, I don't care about this, also because then people tell me I use word salads.
There is a worse world than this one here. I don't give a fuck about the underlying explanation of everything I'm saying. You just want the 30-second hit piece? Okay, chief. We're just pretending that it is. They violence to each other. Civility.
Yeah.
Okay? This is where we kind of want to be,
yes.
Right? We want to be...
Oh, well, you don't. We do. You want violence on the streets.
How can you even talk to what I think when you just admitted to skipping fucking half the video? Or, I'm sorry, well, the 2 or 3 minutes. But my whole explanation of how I'm building here. What the fuck? What? Does he not see the irony in this? Hello?
So, no. You don't want civility. Don't put we. You and I are not the same.
Here, where things are civil, all right? Meaning we're not killing each other.
Right.
Or having a bad time and acting violence to each other. This would be like ideal. This is a good world, okay? Yeah. Right now, at best, we're in this world, okay?
Which you created.
Nobody wants to say this, but the problem is that this here is not the worst world. We're just pretending that it is, okay?
Of course.
The reason why it doesn't make sense for Democrats to disavow over and over and over again when Republicans won't do it is because there's a worse world for this, and the worst world is...
I would like to underline, not to interrupt him too much, but I would like to underline. Did you see what...
Not to interrupt him too much. You skipped my 2.5-minute explanation. Also, I'm sorry, I know that I'm lucky, I guess, because I went to a decent high school, so I have like a decently broad base of knowledge. But I feel like the prisoner's dilemma is not that obscure. Certainly you can see that I was about to explain it, that I drew this fucking, little retarded tic-tac-toe paint chart over here, and now I'm explaining. Certainly you see how this ties into what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that difficult to understand that, no? Hello? Yes. And the worst world is...
I would like to underline, not to interrupt him too much, but I would like to underline. Did you see what he's doing? Democrats are disavowing, so the whole group are saying violence bad, but Republicans are not doing that. Did you not see the wave of Democrats and liberals that had been specifically laughing and giggling for Charlie Kirk's death? And I found some TikTokers who specifically asked, as a call to action, now go and do Charlie's children.
Do you see? Now, do you see what he's doing? He said Democrats and liberals, right? That's what he said. What does he see? He sees what his algorithm shows him, and he sees what the conservatives want him to see. This and we could find a million more at this point, right? This is not the same. Now, you can argue that maybe your leadership has no bearing on how people think, okay? But you've got all the former presidents, you've got huge mainstream media figures, you've got huge political figures, governors, like so many people on the left unequivocally disavow violence, but it doesn't matter. None of it matters. It doesn't matter at all. And if I do it, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. They'll still find the crazies. They'll still find whatever lunatic. They'll still find whatever else. And then they'll act in the most unhinged manner possible. But they refuse to see the game that's being played. So instead, in my opinion, the message from every Democrat should be, we'll call for peace as soon as Donald Trump does. That's what I want to see from everybody. So at least it can't be ignored as much. And then you fight on that point. Because it shouldn't even be a fight. It should be the conservatives should go, oh, wow. Well, that's really unhinged. Of course, Donald Trump will disavow all violence, right? And then Trump does it, and then everybody else does it. We're cool. Okay, that's good. That's not even like good, like optically. It's not even good, like politically. That's just like healthy for the country. Like in a very literal sense of less people dying and healthy for our democracy. That would just be a good thing, regardless of political party. But Republicans will only play politics, and then retards like this will just be fleshlights for their corrosive ideology.
And wife. Ezekiel asked, as a call to action, now go and do Charlie's children. And wife. Is he out of his mind? The reality is, because I'm the one who tells it, this is a political manipulator. I tell it how it is. The reality is.
You see the aesthetic? It's so annoying. That's why I say, like, when I say things about myself, they're always like red flags. Because that's what I would say, right? Oh, these people are manipulative. But I'm trying to show you factually as much as possible. And then he says the same thing. I'm showing you how it is. After I skip 3 minutes of his video explaining the foundation that he's even building his argument on, I show you how it is. After bringing up 0 examples to justify anything I'm talking about, I'm literally just giving you my vibe space. I tell you how it is. And how it is what the algorithm feeds me on Twitter for me to repeat back to you in these retarded YouTube videos. Thank you, truth sayer. Thank you, truth teller. Thank you so much. So brave. Speak to power, brother.
There are some people that condemn violence, usually the overwhelming majority, and then there are people who want violence. However, what happened in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination and the aftermath, you are probably a liberal and you're watching this and you'll say, no, I don't want that. I don't want violence. I'm against violence. I didn't like Charlie Kirk, but I'm against violence. Great. I never said all liberals. He's the one who speaks in full groups. I don't. I'm saying there is a certain number of people that are specifically celebrating, laughing, giggling, and that is causing a strong reaction on the right. Now, are there some people on the right that are pushing it too far? Yes. If someone on the right says, now we need to retaliate off destiny, it's wrong.
Are there some people on the right? You mean like Donald Trump, the president of the United fucking States of America? It's also annoying too because, like, again, this is like real life for me, right? Like, I could be the next video and the president is not helping me and the conservatives are not helping me. Like, if anybody doesn't want political violence, I'll say it again for the millionth time, not that it fucking matters to these fucking losers. I don't want political violence. I don't want to get fucking killed. And I got a higher chance of getting killed than this fucking loser or than fucking Vosh or fucking Hassan. These people who will never leave their house if they think there's any danger even remotely to their lives. This guy who's sitting in his fucking house all day, I don't know what country this guy's from, right? Obviously, sitting there watching a colleague getting murdered is not a good feeling for me.
Number of people that are specifically celebrating, laughing, giggling, and that is causing a strong reaction on the right. Now, are there some people on the right that are pushing it too far? Yes. If someone on the right says, now we need to retaliate off destiny, it's wrong, and I will call it out. That's not the way to do it. But let's not pretend that the same level of laughing and giggling happened when the Democratic senators were off. I didn't see these thousands and thousands of...
You didn't see Mike Lee's fucking tweet, his refusal to even disavow it? You didn't see Donald Trump claiming that the guy worked for Mike Walls, that was a fucking Democrat operative, and refusing to have a phone call with him? You didn't see anything from the Republicans. You saw for a micro moment, the Republicans called it out because they thought that it was an anti-abortion killing, and then you saw nothing about it. Trump didn't go to any funeral. Trump didn't make any fucking phone call. No flags were flown at half-mast. Fuck you. What a disgusting piece of shit. Oh my God.
Conservatives, particularly kids, going around saying, we got this person in the neck, we got this person in the neck. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. And if there were some, which is why it is absolutely abhorrent that now he's going to pretend as if all liberals want no violence, but all Republicans never say that. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. This is why centrists turn right.
I'll call it genocide. I mean, you can put whatever you want here. Genocide, absolutely. Wait. I thought I was a radical, though. If I'm a radical on the left, then why is it making centrists turn right? How does that make any sense at all? What? Violence, one-sided firing squad, whatever, execution.
Right.
There
That's
is a worse
wrong.
world than this one here.
We all know that.
And that worse world is one side enacting violence.
Of course.
And the problem is that the Republican rhetoric is pushing us in that direction. Where the Republicans want to push us here, right? Where it's a Dem utter loss. And they do that by already trying to say that we are here, right? You've heard the Republicans say over and over again, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence. And they do that as a call to their own side, that they need to respond with violence.
And the way to prove them wrong, if that's what you want to do, is to condemn the shooting of the children, the Christian children, by the way, that were killed by someone who clearly wasn't a Republican. I think it's obvious. And then also this Charlie Kirk's assassination. You do not have the moral ground if you laugh. It's one of the two. You got to choose. I would have...
Everybody condemned the shooting of the children. What the fuck are you talking about? What? Oh, he just lives online. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
respected Democrats if they had said, and I do not have the moral ground if you laugh. It's one of the two. You got to choose. I would have respected Democrats if they had said, and I do respect those Democrats like that have been condemning this. But a lot of you guys are laughing about it, so you lose the moral ground. Be angry at those people on your side that are laughing about this. You included.
It's just unbelievable to me how much the internet has just fucked people's minds up. Oh my God.
You laughed. You said you were going to make fun of the firefighter. You were the one who pushed the people in your audience to now go around and laugh. So you lost the moral ground. You want to regain it? Condemn the violence, but don't make a video saying don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death.
So the reason why I'm not sympathetic to people saying we need to turn down the temperature, well, look, just because the other side isn't doing it doesn't mean we can't. No, we're not in the worst world right now. This world, right, which is this part of the prisoner's dilemma box, this world is preferable right here to this world.
You see what he's doing? Once again, mental manipulation. It's as clear as day. He's giving you an answer that is correct. Yes, the world.
How am I being accused of mental manipulation? I'm drawing out from start to finish. Like, this is my theoretical model right here. This is my other theoretical model. Okay, this is the applied theoretical model to the theoretical political world. And then this is how I think that it's playing out right now with examples from both sides. How is this mental manipulation? This is just me explaining my thoughts. And then I don't know if I'm sure I use examples in this video, but if not, I've used them a myriad of other times.
Mental manipulation. It's as clear as day. He's giving you an answer that is correct. Yes, the world with violence is preferable to the world with genocide. That's correct, but it's unrelated. That's what he does. So he says something and you listen to it and you're like, well, yeah, I agree with that. But it has nothing to do with, oh, that's why we shouldn't call for stopping violence or lowering temperature. Do you see how unrelated the two things are? And he's doing it on purpose. He's saying what he wants to say, which is the message, don't tone down the violence, is what he's saying. And then, because people who are decent, left or right, or center, are going to be like, well, no, we should tone down the violence. What are you on about?
Center and right are saying Republicans should tone it down too? Seems to be strangely absent from all of the Republican leadership messaging and from all of the unhinged fucking tweets that I've seen coming out of them over the past couple of days, but okay.
And then he's going to say, but no, because it's preferable to have this world over this one, isn't it? And then people are going to be like, yeah, I mean, sure, it is preferable. No, civility is preferable, you liar.
Or this world, right? And the one-sided call, yeah, civility is preferable. Remember I said that at the very beginning of this explanation over and over again?
Civility is preferable, you liar.
Or this world, right? And the one-sided calls for just us, we just need to disavow. No, I'm sorry. The president of the United States, without having any idea at all who the actual shooter is, has already blamed one side.
Because there was a bullet which said, catch this fascist. Which is the side that calls the other fascist?
Like, and he's doing it! And he's doing it! He's joining them! Also, didn't the president make this statement before the gun had even been fucking found? Am I hallucinating? He did. I think the president and Nancy Mace, didn't they make their statements before there was even a found fucking weapon? Also, who calls the other side fascist? Donald Trump calls us fascists. Are we going to talk about that at all, or? It actually wouldn't surprise me if Trump used fascist more than the Democrats did, because I feel like fascist is more like a Antifa or like tanky or like socialist talking point. I don't know how much if I've ever heard. No, I think they did. I think did they? Does Biden say fascism? Maybe he does. I don't remember. Feels like a lifetime ago when that man was our president. Give me the Trump compilation. Where is it? Biden did use that. Okay. It's Mehdi Hassan.
Divide in American politics today is between these far-left fascists led by Harris and her group. We have a fascist person running who's incompetent. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist. She's not actually a socialist. She's gone past that. Somebody's got to explain this woman. There's a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist. Divide in American politics today.
But okay.
Because there was a bullet which said, catch this fascist. Which is the side that calls the other fascist? As someone who receives that insult constantly, be real, Destiny. Be honest. Once again, I'm honest on my end.
I've been called a fascist way more than you have. You're literally a little baby in this world. Please, fuck off.
I'm not saying all Democrats do this. I'm not saying all liberals are like this. I've seen a lot in my comments that say I'm left-wing, but it's horrible. I didn't like what Charlie Kirk said, but this is unbelievable, and I strongly... Great. That's a good lefty. Differently from you. You instead demonize the entirety of the other side and then add calls to violence. This is the difference between me and him. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to...
Jesus.
Your FBI is investigating the potential role of left wing.
Oh, wait. This is live now, isn't it?
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Nice to have you here. We have some big things to announce. Today, at the request of Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee, who's standing with us, as you know, I'm signing a presidential memorandum to establish the Memphis Safe Task Force, and it's very important because of the crime that's going on, not only in Memphis, in many cities, and we're going to take care of all of them, step by step, just like we did in D.C. We have virtually no crime in D.C. right now, and we're going to keep it that way. It's our nation's capital. We're going to keep it that way, or we're going to federalize it if we had to, but we don't have to anymore because it's in such great shape. This task force will be a replica of our extraordinarily successful efforts here, and you'll see it's a lot of the same thing, although the numbers here are really something. They're really bad. Now, we did send FBI in about 4 months ago to work, and it brought some of the numbers down, and they did a great job, but we're sending in the big force now. We also sent them into Chicago on a sort of a moderate basis, and we brought down crime a little bit in Chicago, but we're now going to bring it down very big. We're going to be doing Chicago probably next. I was with a great businessman, a man who is involved in all cities through his business, and I said, who do you think should be next after Memphis? And he said, sir, you've got to save Chicago. We're going to wait a little while. But he said, you got to save Chicago. You can't let it go. And this is a very prominent man that everybody knows in this room. Another man in Memphis was saying, Bill, he was saying, very interesting, he's on the board of FedEx. And his hotel is about a block away. And he said, when I walk there, I said, I don't want to do this again. I never want to do it again. And they won't let me walk there. They take them in armored vehicles. They take the board members of FedEx in armored vehicles like a block away to the hotel. This shouldn't be the U.S. This shouldn't be the United States of America. The task force will be a replica, as I said, and it's going to be, I think, equally successful. This is a tremendous success we've had in Washington, I can tell you, and everyone knows it. And people in the White House that work here and other people that I know are calling me and thanking me. They're going out to dinners. They're doing things that they haven't done in years. The effort will include the National Guard, as well as the FBI, ATF, DEA, ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, and the U.S. Marshals, and more along the prosecutors. We're going to have DOJ led by a U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, who is here or not here.
If Republicans had been forced to be held accountable for trying to insurrect the government in 2020, we would not be content with well, first Trump would have been reelected, but we would not be content with Donald Trump creating these EOs and task force to station federal troops and the National Guard, I guess, in major cities. That is just unhinged. This is a guy who already tried through scheme and conspiracy and violence to steal the presidency one time. Why would he not try to do it again? Especially with more control now than he's ever had before.
In here, the person is going to be very busy. So we're going to have U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, and most importantly, Pam Bondi's here. She's heading it up, and she's doing an unbelievable job in every respect beyond this. So also worked with some of the members of the team right here on D.C., and we're very proud of that effort. We essentially had the crime down to a very low rate in 12 days, and within another 10 days after that, it was so incredible. And it continues at that level, and we're going to continue. We have to because it's our capital. This team will deploy the full powers of federal law enforcement agencies and enforcement generally to restore public safety and get dangerous career criminals off of our streets. We're going to get them off in 2024.
People are memeing about he's going to find out why he calls it Chirac, or, you know, you can send him to these cities and see what happens. That's actually, I don't know if it would be a goal of his, but that could be a worst case scenario. So one of the reasons why, well, like we got thrown out of, when we were trying to go to, oh my God, what was the other place? Nablus in the West Bank. One of the reasons why the IDF, you know, don't like foreigners or whatever to visit places is because they're worried that they're going to get like caught up in some stupid shit, and then the IDF has to go in. And anytime the IDF is involved with policing stuff in the West Bank, if anybody gets killed, it turns into a huge issue for everybody, for the Palestinians, for the Israelis, the international community. So if they see like foreigners out there and they don't think you know what you're doing or whatever, they'll kick you out because they're like, this is retarded, go back to Israel. You shouldn't be here. The crazy outpost people, the ones who like try to expand their territory in the West Bank, they try to take advantage of that. There's a reason why they go out and they start fights with some of the Palestinian Area A, Area B places, is because they know that if they get in trouble, they can call the IDF. The IDF will come in, and if anybody dies, it's going to turn into a huge deal where there's going to be big deployment of the IDF. Right? This is kind of like an intentional strategy, at least on the side of the crazy settlers, outposters. If Donald Trump were to deploy the National Guard to some city and somebody in the military were to be killed in some criminal event, like that could be a worst case, like inciting event where now Donald Trump's like, you are killing the citizens, or some criminal killed somebody in the military. Now I'm actually going to deploy the military to your city with the fucking air support or whatever the fuck else crazy shit, you know? Just saying that that's like not necessarily a good outcome. You shouldn't be cheering for, I mean, you should never be cheering for political violence because that's bad. Not that the right cares about it, but that would be a really bad outcome, potentially.
Memphis had the highest violent crime rate, the highest property crime rate, and the third highest murder rate of any city in the nation. Other than that, they're doing quite well, thank you. A person is 4 times more likely to be murdered in Memphis, Tennessee today than in Mexico City. It's been, and you know Mexico City is not a cakewalk. It's been overrun with carjackings, robberies, shootings, and killings. There were 249 murders, 429 rapes, 5,616 burglaries, and 12,522 violent assaults in just the last little while in 2024 and in pieces of 2025, where it's actually gotten worse until recently when we sent the FBI down to see what the hell is going on. Last month, a vicious thug carjacked an elderly woman parked at the movie theater, dragged her out of the car, and body slammed her into the pavement, where she is still trying to recover. Probably won't be successful. So we're not going to allow this kind of savagery to destroy our society anymore. We're stopping it, doing one by one time, but we want to go quickly. We don't want to lose Chicago. We're going to lose Chicago. We're going to lose places like, you go to St. Louis. We're going to lose St. Louis. We're not going to lose. We want to save these places. You're going to lose them. It was the way the man said it, a very high quality man. I said, who would you do next?
I think he makes all these people up. Notice how everything is like an existential threat too. Like, we're on the verge of losing Chicago. We're on the verge of losing our country. We're on the verge of losing, like, it's always an existential threat. But then somehow these problems just like go away, you know? Like, there was like this huge trans threat across our entire country. I don't even know if that much changed, but suddenly it's gone. Or there were 15 million illegals, or he said 20 million illegals that came into our country and were destroying it. But I guess it's not destroying our country anymore. We don't just hear about it much. I know he says he closed the border, but shouldn't the 15 or 20 million illegals here be still destroying everything? Why does nobody seem to care now? Right? These aren't real problems. They're just problems that they're telling you are problems that you care about when they're telling you to care about them.
So you're going to lose them. It was the way the man said it, a very high quality man. I said, who would you do next? He said, Sarah, do Chicago. You don't want to lose Chicago. We're not going to lose Chicago. So we're going to have to go very big, and we're going to go probably, we're thinking about it for next time. We're going to hold it off. We're going to do some of the smaller ones. And the truth is, our people are so good. Gaddy, you're doing a great job wherever you may be. We're doing so good that I don't think we need too much practice, right? But we got to go and save our big cities, our great cities. Chicago's a great city, and we're going to make it great again very soon. And I think we can do that. Despite the tremendous size, I think we can do a real job, and we're going to give you the resources that you need. So with that, I'd like to just end by saying we're going to make Memphis safe again, and I'd like to ask...
You need to relentlessly hound these people to debate you live and relentlessly call them out until they do. If that Metatron guy wants to debate, I'll talk to him. Where is he? Is he on Twitter? Destiny reacted and responded to my video about him. Expect my response soon. Why not just chat about it live? Question mark. Notice you skipped through sections of the video anyway. Seems like a pretty easy convo to hash out.
Governor Bill Lee to say a few words, and then Pam can talk, and anybody else you'd like to talk to. We'll go through the whole list. We have all day long if we have to, because this is a very important thing. We have to save our country from violent crime. So, Bill?
Yes, sir. Mr. President, first of all, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your commitment for federal resources to the great city of Memphis. And it is a great city, and it has a great history and a great legacy. And we are very hopeful and excited about the prospect of moving that city forward. I've been in office 7 years. I'm tired of crime holding the great city of Memphis back. And I have spoken today with the director of the U.S. Marshals, with the director of the FBI, with General Bondi. We realize that this effort of multi-agencies that will combine the work of the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the local police departments, when we come together, we can make significant change in our city, in the city of Memphis, and that is a powerfully important thing for the state of Tennessee, and I want to say thank you.
This will be your proudest moment when we see you in 4 or 5 weeks, maybe sooner. You're going to see numbers that will drop and plummet like you haven't. Just like we did in D.C., they plummeted. Nobody can even believe it. And they're going to plummet. It'll be one of your really proud moments, and you've done a good job, too, but this will be maybe your proudest moment.
Thank you, sir. And the director, as the director said, the goal is sustained.
Right. Got to keep
sustained crime lowering, and that with this effort, I believe we can get there. We can finally get there for that city.
Yep, we're going to have it sustained a long time. And your people are going to get better and better, and your police force has been terrific. They're working with us very much, as you know. We started it, as I said, on a little basis, and we got it down quite a bit, but now we go in for the big march, okay?
And Director Patel and his team have done remarkable work so far. As you know, the numbers are great, and this will be one more step in the right direction for Memphis.
That's true.
Thank you.
He's done a very good job. Thank you very much. Pam, please.
President Trump, at your directive, we went in, as you all know, to D.C. and took over the city of D.C., working hand in hand with Metro Transit Authority. All of the agencies represented here today got over 2,000 violent offenders, got over 200 guns off the streets of D.C., and D.C. is safe again. And now, Governor, working with you and working with our...
You got guns off the street? Sounds like an Australian talking point.
2 U.S. senators and all of our agencies working hand in hand. We're going to do everything we can to make Memphis safe again. That was President Trump's directive to us, and it's easy to do when you're working with such great leaders. And Secretary Noem, you have been instrumental in this, and Director Patel has already been into Memphis and gotten so many violent offenders and guns off the street, and that's what started it. And working Stephen and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, thank you. We've all been going nonstop, working hand in hand together. And Gowdy Serralta, Terry Cole, and Director Driscoll of ATF wearing 2 hats, and Pete Hegseth with the National Guard, all working hand in hand and being out there for a month. You can't tell who's with what agency but for the T-shirt they're wearing, because everyone's working hand in hand, and that's why we've been so successful. We're going to do that in Memphis, and we're going to get crime off the streets.
That's great. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate it. Chrissy, go ahead.
Mr. President, Memphis has a high number of trafficking, significant human traffickers, child exploitation, drug trafficking. The local gangs there are extremely dangerous, and I'm so excited that you're going in there to work with not just the governor and willing local leaders, but also our attorney general and all the leaders that are standing here today to help protect our children. So what's going to change dramatically is the families' lives that live there, and it's only going to happen because of you, because you're coming in. What has started there, you're going to put on steroids. The networks that you're going to uncover across this country, because of the work that's going to happen in Memphis, we're going to see every city get safer, because we're going to see those ties to other...
Hopefully not all the sex trafficking networks.
criminals that we're going to get out of the country. So we're a nation of laws. And sir, thank you for caring about every single city.
Thank you, Christy. Really nice. And what makes it to me so exciting is the success we had here so quickly. And, you know, we've taken close to 1,500 people out of D.C. But when I saw the result happen so quickly, and so many people are so thankful, and people that you pass them every day and they're fine, all of a sudden they're thanking me so profusely. It was so exciting what's happened. It continues to be what happened in D.C.
So is the intent to just keep all these National Guard members inside these cities indefinitely? There's no way this keeps down crime. No, this is all performative. The worst case scenario, the conspiratorial one, but I mean, like, that's conspiracies used to be far-fetched, but this was like 10%, I don't know, is that he's just getting cities used to having the military deployed there so that he can do bad things come election season.
And so that's what makes this, I think, even more exciting, because we know what's going to happen. We have the people. Look, we're sending in a lot of help. These cities have been taken over for years, and the last 4 years under Biden, what's happened is just a disgrace. So it really has, the success we've had here has made it to me much more exciting, because I think we're going to have proportionally. I mean, you have cases where it's even worse. I have some people, we have some people quoted today that we took out of papers. We're so grateful for the National Guard coming, said an owner of a Memphis tax service. It's so dangerous here. It's so darn dangerous that you can't get out of your car. If you get out of your car, it says you get robbed, you get mugged, you get hit. You can't go to the market or a service station. So, yeah, I want to see crime stop, and I want to see the National Guard come in right away if that's what's necessary. There's a need. Here's another one from a director of a Memphis-based crime.
All of these are written by Benny Johnson on different email addresses.
Prevention organization. There's a need for more boots on the ground. You have to get them done fast before we totally lose it. They're going to lose it all. I got 2 guns put in my face, said another, within 5 minutes at 2 different locations. Said I got a gun put in my face. Then I went someplace else, had another gun put in my face. I was scared. It never happened to me. I've never seen anything like it. Here's another one. I honestly thought he was going to kill me. said a 60-year-old Memphis carjacking victim. A man walked up, give me your car, you got 5 seconds to get out or you're dead. This is what we have in this page after page of the same kind of thing. Cash, would you say a few words, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks to your brilliant foresight, you had asked us to go in quietly into these cities to help set the landscape, to work with the interagency, and to make America safe again. And we've done that under the FBI's banner program of Operation Summer Heat. And the results are only as good as the prosecutions. And because the attorney...
Wait, did this guy say he was centrist or am I lying? Destiny reacted and responded to my video about him. Expect my response soon. Also, his chat called me European Asmongold. I love that. Oh, God. Holy shit, that's gross. Oh, my God, the glaze.
Awkward. General and the Deputy Attorney General have mobilized DOJ to successfully prosecute so many violent criminals. We've set the landscape for the interagency to come into Memphis and really make it safe permanently. As the governor and the senators and the other directors were saying, it's not a short-term mission, but thanks to you, launching us early, launching us quietly, not looking for the credit, Mr. President. We greatly appreciate your support and the advanced foresight you had doing that.
It's so exciting, and somebody had to do this. A president should have stepped up long ago and saved these cities, so it's not that I wanted to do it, believe me. Somebody had to do it, and we're doing it in a big way. Pete, could you say a few words?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yeah, wait, somebody should search through chat. Did anybody even say that? Maybe in YouTube chat somebody did?
From day one, the DOW, the Department of War.
I'm glad you made that correct.
Has been proud to stand with our partners across the interagency, whether it was Southwest border, whether it was Los Angeles getting ahead of that, whether it's right here in Washington, D.C., where Secretary Driscoll and the Army and the National Guard have taken the lead in helping across all of these great folks to secure the city. We are very proud to be here, to stand strong alongside law enforcement. We're glad that Memphis is the place to go. The volunteer state, we're not going to have any problems with the Tennessee National Guard being willing to go in and stand strong.
Not at all. And get ready because you'll be doing a lot of other places that are almost as troubled. Some of them are equal. You look at what's going on in Baltimore, where the governor was telling me how wonderful it is, and you can't walk across the street without being shot. Could I ask our two great senators to say a few words?
Of
please?
course,
Please,
Mr.
Marcia.
President, thank you so much. I want to say a thank you to Director Patel because he had promised that he would come into Memphis. We've had Operation Viper there this summer. There have been over 500 arrests. There are over 100 indictments. And Memphis had the best stats they have had in years this past August. Last month, it was the best August they have had, and it's because of the work that's been done. And now to have a new phase of this enforcement for Memphis, where we are going to have all of these agencies working as a team, as the governor said, making certain that this is a long-term effort to make Memphis safe again. Mr. President, we are so grateful, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President. And this is an issue that's plagued Memphis since I was a boy, Mr. President. And it's time that we address it, and I appreciate your leadership allowing us to do that. And the team that you've assembled here is going to help us deliver the most fundamental responsibility of our government, and that's public safety. This shouldn't be a partisan issue. This should be something that is our primary goal. And certainly I hope to see Memphis become the safest city in America, and thanks to the effort of all of your
Thanks to the effort of the military being deployed there. True.
team here to make certain that happens. Thank you, Governor Lee, and I want to say thanks to the Memphis Police Department and the Sheriff's Department there, too, who have all worked closely to bring this together. I look forward to tremendous results.
And I want to thank the FBI for the last 4 or 5 months because they have brought down the numbers quite a bit. Chicago here and a couple of other places that we can talk about later if anybody wants to. Could I ask you to, Terry Gaddy, say a couple of words also? You really did lead the charge here, and you've done such a great job. Please.
Mr. President, thank you for always supporting law enforcement. I think the major difference here in Washington, D.C. has been your support for law enforcement, has been empowering the men and women
Support for law enforcement as he literally pardons all the people that fought with law enforcement at the Capitol. Good one.
that are on the street working every single day. And I look forward to not only going to Memphis, but other places in Tennessee as well. And I think you'll hear from us real soon, Mr. President. Thank you for your support, sir.
There are plenty of places.
Yes, sir, we do.
You know the country very well. That's great. Thank you, Terry. Please,
Mr. President, I just want to say that we're honored once again to lead the charge with the United States Marshal Service, leading and joining 22 other federal agencies. I can say that today we spoke with over 30 of the local agencies, letting them know what to expect, giving them the template that we've done here in D.C., so they know what to expect. They're extremely excited. I think everyone is going to be well receiving the law enforcement surge that we're about to take to Memphis.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask one of the best lawyers in the country. He is one of the best. Dodd, say a few words, please. He is a great lawyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, look, I think it's been said for the past 15 minutes, the president ran on making this country safe again, and we do not make this country safe again unless we go into our cities where there's the most violent among us and go street by street and block by block and arrest the men and women in this country that are destroying cities and communities for the rest of us. And so what we plan on doing, as the governor said and the senator just said, this has been a problem in Memphis for a long time. We plan on delivering Memphis back to the citizens that are there to raise their families, to go to church, to be in their communities. That's our goal, and that's what we plan on doing, whether it takes 2 weeks or 2 years. That's what we're going to do.
Thanks, Dodd. The great Stephen Miller, please say a few words.
Thank you, Mr.
Show
President.
the same emotion you do in Dallas. That's hard to do.
Let's see if I can do it. President Trump's initiative here in Washington, D.C., is important to understand, is the most successful anti-crime initiative in American history. I mean, just think about it for a second. In 30 days, President Trump put together a team that saw the largest ever violent crime reduction in any city in American history. Something that people had not been able to do in 40 years. That is a momentous achievement. And now the president is going to take that same model to Memphis, and as he said, more cities after that. The team the president has put together has no equal today or anywhere in American history. I think what's happening here is that what the president has done is made clear the power of federal law enforcement that was used for the last 4 years to harass and attack conservatives, to harass and attack Christians, to go after law-abiding families. The power of law enforcement under President Trump is going to be used to get all the criminals, all the violent offenders, all the murderers, all the cartels, and all the domestic terrorists off our streets. So whether you're Antifa, whether you're a domestic terrorist, whether you are a violent gang member, a drug trafficker, a trained Irawagwa killer, or anyone else that's hurting our people, President Trump is saying he's going to use his FBI, his DOD, his ATF, his DEA to wipe you out, to put you behind bars, to take you off the street, or to apply whatever legal consequences necessary. Mr. President, I'm honored beyond words to be part of this team under your leadership as you saved thousands of lives.
Thank you very much. Come on over, let's sign that. So, you want to say anything?
Oh my God.
He's won a job, he's doing this.
Mr. President, so our Army National Guard is honored to be part of this mission. This is their community. A lot of them are from D.C., they're from Tennessee. When you talk to them, when you talk to the actual population out there who interact with them every day, they say it's a blessing to have them as a part of their life. And then for the National Guard getting to have this where they get to improve their communities, but their kids are growing up and they're going to church, and this is where their families are. Many of them, sir, have said this is the honor of their lifetime, so thank you.
Look at that nice face, and yet he's a killer. Nice, beautiful face, and he's a total killer. I don't know how you do it.
Love you, sir.
Everybody here. All right, here we go.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I love how they like clap for his signature. Nice signature, President. Nice signature, Mr. President. Well, that's a wonderful non-auto pen signature. Such a good signature. Wonderful. Look at her in the background. I wonder how many kids she has. I bet she said the same thing. Good job. Good job. Nice job. That's wonderful. Good work.
How wonderful. Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very
No, thank you very much. Great job. Any questions, please? Yeah, but
First of all, you've got to.
did they take down the blue tent?
Yes, sir, they did. Thank you very much. I appreciate
I
that.
mean, hit me with a blue tent. And nobody knew
Time to hear the horrible, what do they call, not fascists, what do they call them in the press room? All these horrible Dems or whatever. The evil Democrats. Let's see who's left in the press room, or who's left asking questions, I guess, in the Oval Office. Okay, here we go.
was talking about, we found out, right?
Found out, right.
It was gone the next day, and they had a lot of, that was not so easy. That's a violent, radical left group. Okay, go ahead.
I've heard a lot of comments for doing that. They still have their First Amendment right, though.
Yeah, well,
you've got an amazing team behind you. You've done an awesome job for D.C. I want to get ahead of a story that I think might come out. You pushed out an email earlier today, really showing dozens and dozens of local media in Memphis highlighting all of the violent crime in that city. So they have no problem reporting the crime, but when you show up to solve it, they're going to run around town looking for that one person that says, we don't want Donald Trump in our city. What can you say to the media there in Memphis, Tennessee, to help let them know the people want you there in their city?
Well, I'm not sure they found that person, because I saw them doing some interviews, and it looked like they were looking, but they were very, in fact, that producer and that person, I think they lost their jobs, because everybody was saying, we want Trump to be there, they want the people right here to be there. Look, it's very simple. In Chicago, they're getting beat to hell, they're being shot. If you lose 6 or 7 people die over a weekend, they consider that a successful weekend. And when you consider that a successful weekend, that's pretty bad. I had the president of Poland here a few days ago, and we had a news conference. Many of you were here. And I made the statement. I said, we're very happy to announce that it's been over 2 weeks since anybody's been killed in D.C. And he looked at me like, is that supposed to be good? He's looking like, what kind of a place is this? And now it's been a long time. But and as I was saying it, I said, I'm not sure if that sounds good to somebody. It sounded great to you, but it doesn't sound good to somebody from a country where they don't have violent crime like we have. But now it's a long time since that's happened. We went for years where at least one person was killed. Now you're not seeing it all. It's like the border. Millions of people a year ago, millions of people poured into our country. In the last 3 months, there have been 0, as reported by largely Democrats, actually.
0 illegal immigrants. 0 people. They fixed all of it. 0 crime in D.C. I can't wait till we get glorious leaders' new reports on everything in this country. Inflation this quarter, 0%. GDP growth, 100%. Investments in America, up to $25 trillion. Illegal immigrants entering, 0. Deported, 5 million more. Unemployment, 0%.
The border is secure. The country is secure. We've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I'll tell you, a year ago, we were a country in tremendous trouble. Probably a dead country.
Dead country, but now we're the hottest for investment.
So we're very happy
Everybody
about
wants
it.
to invest
so
here.
Just, in terms of your question, People have never seen anything like what we're doing, and I think they're very happy, and they want us to be there. They don't want to be mugged. Who would say, gee, I don't want the National Guard? And you need that in terms of numbers. And also, you look at those guys, I looked at them, they're rough guys. They're, you know, the Supreme Court voted recently on merit. We're a merit-based country again. I said they had tremendous courage to do that. We're a merit-based country again. When I looked at the people that were patrolling the streets for the National Guard and for others, I could see we're merit-based. They were rough-looking, they were tough-looking, and they love our country. So that's where we are, Brian. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, please.
Yes. Given with all the that's going on with Charlie Kirk's assassination and the left-wing, a lot of left-wing violence going on, do you have plans, and actually this is a great opportunity with all these people here, do you plan on designating Antifa finally a domestic terror organization?
You're so brave. Thank God. Antifa. Yes. All I've thought about is how horrified I've been of Antifa over the past 5 years. My God. They're everywhere.
Violence going on. Do you have plans, and actually this is a great opportunity with all these people here, do you plan on designating Antifa finally a domestic terror organization?
Well, it's something I would do, yeah. If I have support from the people back here, I think we'd start with Pam, I think. But I would, if you give me, I would do that 100%. And others also, by the way. But Antifa is terrible.
Are there other groups that you can think of?
There are other groups, yeah. There are other groups. We have some pretty radical groups, and they got away with murder. And also, I've been speaking to the Attorney General about bringing RICO against some of the people that you've been reading about that have been putting up millions and millions.
RICO? For what? What?
Of dollars for agitation. These aren't protests. These are.
Oh, he's running with the meme that all of the protests are fake and funded.
Crimes, what they're doing, where they're throwing bricks at cars of ICE and Border Patrol, and they come in with a beautiful new car. They're so proud. It's Border Patrol, ICE. You know, it's got whatever it is, and they're throwing rocks at it. And after 50 yards, it looks like an old beat-up vehicle. It was just brand new. It was just bought for the purposes. And they don't have to take that anymore. I let it be known. We'll take responsibility. They don't have to take it anymore. And they don't want to take it. They were told by a past administration to be.
Remember, during the last BLM riots, conservatives would just post. They were like, I remember there was one guy that did a debunking of like 20 of these, but they would post like pictures of bricks outside. And the claim was that somebody had set these like brick pallets up in advance in order to help Antifa throw bricks at people or whatever. And like every single one of these was near a site with some active construction. You could find them on like Google Maps like weeks earlier or whatever. But then I don't even think they accepted that. I think they said like, oh, this was set up way further in advance. It's just so fucking stupid. Like way further, like they knew Florida was going to die or what? Like just so dumb.
Became almost a culture.
Joe Rogan pushed the bricks thing hard, did he? That wouldn't surprise me.
Culture. If somebody throws a rock at you, do nothing. If somebody spits in your face, do nothing. And I say, when they spit, you hit. Do whatever you want. You do whatever the hell you want. I watched it so sick it made me. For 4 years, I had to sit home and watch people screaming at policemen and spitting in their face, and they weren't able to do anything. They just had a grin and bear it. They're standing up like a piece of steel. And they're women, in many cases, women. You can see they're professional agitators. I had one the other night. I had 4 the other night, all in one group, total phonies. And I started to scream when I got into a restaurant, oh, you know, something with Palestine. And I said, well, I'm doing a great job for peace in the Middle East. I should get lots of awards for that, right? With the Abraham Accords and everything else. But a woman just stood up and started screaming. And she got booed out of the place, too. The people, there were a lot of people in the restaurant. I went there to show how safe, and it was safe. I mean, the woman is just a mouthpiece. Well, she was a paid agitator. And you have a lot of them. And I've asked Pam to look into that.
Can I get some money for anything? Who's paying me to agitate? God damn it.
In terms of RICO, bringing RICO cases against it, criminal RICO, because they should be put in jail. What they're doing to this country is really subversive.
Is that Mr. President, can I ask you one
sure.
and one on Charlie Kirk? You floated potentially going into St. Louis. You mentioned you want to go into Chicago next. Could St. Louis be after Chicago?
It's going to be around there someplace. Yeah, we got to save St. Louis. We got to save these cities. This isn't like, you know, we're going to do something. We have to save St. Louis. We have to save Chicago. I know all about Chicago. I have a great, beautiful building. I'm so proud of it. But, you know, you get less proud when you see all the crime. When they announced 2 weeks ago, 11 people killed, just over a weekend, I think they said 38 people shot and 11 people dead. And then you watch Pritzker get up and say, we've got crime under control. And I will say that Cash and the FBI did a good job. With a very light force, they went in, and for about 4 months, Cash or so, they've been working on keeping crime down. They have brought the numbers down a little bit. But those are the easy numbers. You know, the first 20-25% of these numbers. That's where it gets. Then you have to bring in the big forces, right? Which is what we always intended to do. But I think the FBI's done a very good job. In particular, in Memphis and Chicago, they brought it down a little bit, like 20% and 25%. Well, I guess it's not so little, but we have a long way to go. We think Chicago is going to be next, and we'll get to St. Louis also.
And Charlie Kirk's assassination.
And New Orleans, we want to get to too.
Your FBI is investigating the potential role of left-wing organizations in the assassination. I'm wondering if you think if Charlie Kirk's assassin worked alone or if he worked with.
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you he didn't work alone on the internet, because it seems that he became radicalized on the internet. That's just by watching same things that you're watching and hearing. It
Same
looks like
things you're watching? You don't have any more info on this? President of the United States connected to all of the most powerful intelligence networks in the world? Okay.
Became radicalized over the internet. And it seems like his wonderful parents brought in a wonderful neighborhood, smart guy, great boards, great marks, great student. And then something happened to him over a fairly short period of time. It looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left. We have a lot of problems with the left, and they get protected, and they shouldn't be protected.
Oh, yeah?
As you understand, I think, very well from the tone of your question. Thank you very much.
Venezuela, Israel. First on Venezuela, what can you tell us about this Venezuelan boat that was taken out?
And Israel?
First on Venezuela, what can you tell us about this Venezuelan boat
Apparently they blew up another boat, killed some people, based.
Was taken out? And do you plan to provide proof that these were narco-terrorists who were on their way to the U.S.?
Well, we have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was, like, it spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and...
That's not the right answer there. We found the proof after we blew the boat up, but okay.
Fentanyl all over the place, and it was. Plus, we have recorded evidence that they were leaving. We've recorded them. It's very careful because we know you people would be after us. We're very careful. The military has been amazing, and General Kane showed me a little while ago the clip, but you could actually see it, but you don't have to see it because we have recorded proof and evidence. So we know what time they were leaving, when they were leaving, what they had, and all of the other things that you'd like to have. But we have noticed that there are no...
I mean, we'll never see that though, right? If this is an international hit, it's not like you're going to release an indictment or anything, right? They didn't for the last one, did they? I don't think we would ever see that information ever. Here's the clip. Wow. Thanks, Mr. President.
Ships in the ocean anymore. We're seeing that there's like no ships, when the first one we went, there were hundreds of boats. Now there are no boats. I wonder why. Meaning no drugs are coming across. Probably stopping some fishermen too. I mean, to be honest.
Oh, we stopped all the drugs? It's so easy being president. Isn't it crazy how when it's stuff that he gets to report on, it's all completely fixed, right? No illegal immigration, no crime, no drugs. But for some reason, when it's in other countries, he has no power. Can't stop the war in Ukraine, can't stop the war in Israel, Gaza. Weird how that works.
About we're fishermen, I wouldn't want to go fishing. Just a nice, let's take a little trip, because I'd say, man, maybe they think I have drugs downstairs. I don't want that. I think the fishing business has probably been hurt. But no, there are literally no boats. This was a boat, and we were surprised to see it. Now, what does that mean? That means there's no drugs coming by sea. But they do come by land. And you know what? We're telling the cartels right now, we're going to be stopping them too. When they come by land, we're going to be stopping them the same way we stop the boats. And you'll see that, but maybe by talking about it a little bit, it won't happen. If it doesn't happen, that's good. But they killed 300,000 people in our country last year, and we're not letting it happen anymore.
And then on Israel, did Bibi Netanyahu speak to you directly to alert you that Israel was going to be striking Hamas sites in Qatar?
No, he didn't. Yeah,
how did you learn it?
Same way you did. Go ahead, please.
You mentioned that the shooter was radicalized online.
I think so. By the way, when I say that, that's my opinion. I think
when I say that, I'm just talking shit. I don't actually know. That's just my opinion as the president of the United States and the head of the executive branch, who theoretically has direct control over the FBI and every other investigative body involved in this. Okay.
The shooter was radicalized online.
I think so. By the way, when I say that, that's my opinion. I think he was radicalized online based on what they're saying.
Do social media companies bear any responsibility for that?
I'm going to have to ask, I don't know, I'd ask Pam that question. I don't know if you or Todd could give an answer to that. Somebody has to bear some responsibility.
And President Trump, I've always told parents, you got to watch what your kids are doing on the internet, what they're doing online, what they're listening to, what they're reading. They're all...
Didn't this guy live, I thought he lived in an apartment or whatever. How could the parents watch him online?
All online, they're all on their phones all the time. Parents have got to monitor that because this starts when you're young. This starts when you're young, when you listen to these groups, when you watch these shows. And parents have got to just be vigilant. So sure, that's part of it. And they're meeting kids online who they think are kids, and they can be anywhere in the world, and talking to them. And yeah, they are being radicalized.
Mr. President,
he went bad, and he just went bad very quickly in a sense, because he sort of led a very normal life, a life of, great education, schools, everything else. But somewhere along
they have nothing to connect this guy as a leftist right now. Maybe they'll find something. I mean, he could have been, right? I don't know. But right now, I don't think they have anything. If this is their line on this, considering how eager Kash Patel has been to leak any fucking possible thing he has. When the head of the FBI is, quote, tweeting pictures of Fox News headlines from days ago, I don't think they have anything on this.
the line, something happened. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. How will you send the National Guard into Chicago without the cooperation of the governor and the mayor?
Well, if they do cooperate, that's good. If they don't, it's not going to matter to us at all. You know who wants to help us? Police department. They have no respect for the governor. They have...
I'm sorry, did he just suggest a coup of the state or city government? Is that what he said? I'm sorry, hold on. Because it sounded like the guy said, how do you send the National Guard into a state when the governor doesn't want you to, which is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. You have to ask governors first. And then it kind of sounded like Trump was implying that the police would just overthrow like the governor or the mayors. But I must have misheard. Let me slow this down and listen.
Chicago without the cooperation of the governor and the mayor.
Well, if they do cooperate, that's good. If they don't, it's not going to matter to us at all. You know who wants to help us?
That's an impeachable statement, right? Like, that's just like it's whatever, dude. Like Obama, Clinton, like if anybody would have ever said, we're sending the military in, I don't care if they want us there or not, we're going to do whatever, whatever.
Police department. They have no respect for the governor. They have no respect for the mayor. They respect us. And we found that in Washington. You know, we haven't had total support in Washington from government, as you know, from everybody. I don't want to say the mayor because she was better than most, but we haven't had great, but we have had great support from the Metropolitan Police. They're like brothers of these people. They're really like brothers. You see that. They work together. And so if the governor wants to support, as I said to Bill, it's going to be his proudest moment, what he's going to do, the governor of Tennessee, what's going to happen with Memphis. In 3-4 weeks, we'll stand together and we'll say, look at this. The crime has almost disappeared, maybe completely disappeared. In Washington, they don't even know how to record it because it's down so much. You know, they've never heard. I heard 87% is down. I said, really? Who are the 13%? Because it's more than that. It's actually more. Hard to believe, right? You're going to have the same results in Chicago. And we hope we have the governor's help, but if we don't, we're doing it without him.
Like, that's just a coup. He's just talking about coupping a government, but we don't care, I guess. I think this is partially my fault. I do apologize, guys. I think that Trump probably watched my performance today on Piers, and I think he got radicalized. I think the president of the United States probably saw that me and maybe other randoms on Twitter didn't disavow the violence hard enough. So now he's just openly bragging about the fact that he's willing to coup these states to deploy the military there. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. I should have disavowed harder. That was my bad. I fucked up hard.
Mr. President, you had the framework that's been agreed to with TikTok, for example. Will China continue to have a stake in the company, or will it go?
Well, we haven't decided that, but it looks to me, and I'm speaking to President Xi on Friday for confirmation of that, and, you know, frankly, more importantly, a big deal. And we've had very good meetings. As you know, we were in Europe, our people, Scott Bessent and Jameson Greer, and others. And it was a very big meeting with China. And, you know, they're treating us with respect. We treat them with respect, too. But it was very successful. And on top of it, we have what could be a very good deal. Don't forget, I've had more people say, could you try and keep TikTok alive? I use TikTok. I mean, I have to admit it.
I used to not like, I just like how open all of it is too. I used to not like this social media platform. In fact, I believe was it under Trump's administration where they initially passed that law? Or was that under Biden? Maybe it was introduced under Trump, but they signed it under Biden because there's no way it would have waited 4 years to go into effect, right? (2023, 2024). Oh, maybe in 2020 he tried to ban it. But I like how open he is in that, like, they would ban it, but since so many people like him on that platform, now he doesn't want to ban it. Like, what clearer message could you send to social media platforms that if you want to maintain your presence in the United States, you have to be good and kind to dear glorious leader?
What could be a very good day too, but it was very successful. And on top of it, we have what could be a very good deal. Don't forget, I've had more people say, could you try and keep TikTok alive? I use TikTok. I mean, I have to admit it, in the election, and look how I did with you. No Republicans come close. I blew everyone away. You know, if you look back, not so long ago, Romney, he got like 7% of the youth. I got like 8 times that amount. I got tremendous numbers of youth. By the way, I want to say, Charlie helped me. And Charlie was the one, get on TikTok. He used to say to me, get on TikTok. Charlie was unbelievable. So probably, and I did. I had somebody named TikTok Jack. And he'd put that camera, he said, just a real quick statement, sir, like 10 seconds or less. They didn't like anything over 10 seconds, but it worked. But Charlie is the one that really, and my son Barron also. And I have to say, Don, Eric, the whole group, it's important. And it can maybe even bring us closer to China. We had a very good meeting with China. I was surprised. I didn't expect it to that extent. And I'm going to speak again with President Xi on Friday. And, you know, I think that'll confirm things up.
Ask a question on Charlie Kirk and crime. On Charlie Kirk, do you plan to speak at the funeral, and what would your message be?
Well, I'm going on Sunday. We're taking a whole plane load, and having. I was invited on Saturday, but I said I'd rather save it for Sunday. You know, we're going to have a stadium, and I'll bet that stadium is going to be pretty packed, maybe completely packed. It's going to be big, but I'm going to be at the stadium, and I guess I'll say a few words. I don't know, but I guess I will. But I knew him very well. He was an amazing guy. He was an amazing guy. He was all about young people, getting them started right, and he was like a magnet for young people. They just attracted to him. He loved them, and they attracted to him. His wife is a tremendous person, by the way. He always had great respect for his wife. He got married. I didn't know he was getting married. I heard he got married, and he loved her. He really loved her. She loved him, and I think she'll have something to do with keeping that whole thing going. You know, Turning Point it became a very big deal, and I heard they had like 38,000. So he wanted to get it up to 20,000 chapters. That's a lot. That would have been a lifetime's work. I heard that over the last 4 days, you have 38,000 people want 38,000 chapters at colleges, schools, other places. Numbers that, nobody's ever heard of numbers like that. So I think Turning Point could be, through what happened, this horrible act, it could be maybe bigger than it could have ever been had he been there. And I will say this, he'd be very happy if he saw what was going on. And there's some very good people, because I speak at Turning Point quite a bit. And Charlie would call me up. So the last time I spoke to him, he said, sir, I think it was Phoenix. Sir, could you get to Phoenix? This was like in a day. I said, Charlie, I'm the President of the United States. You're asking me if I could speak tomorrow in Phoenix. You can't do that to me, Charlie. But usually I ended up going. He was great. He was a great guy, and he didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve this, believe me.
Ilhan Omar, after his assassination, called Charlie Kirk a reprehensible human being. Should she be stripped of her committee assignments?
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser.
Because she
should be stripped of her. Ilhan Omar, after his assassination, called Charlie Kirk a reprehensible human being.
Wow, a reprehensible human being? Really? That's crazy. And he died. This is a dead guy. You're really going to say bad things about a dead guy? Are you serious?
Should she be stripped of her committee assignments?
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser. It's amazing the way I know it's people from her area, maybe of the world. I don't know. They got here and they vote her in. It's hard to believe, but I think she's a disgusting person.
One more question, if I could. A lot of these, in recent of these trans shooters.
Who is this guy again? Is this the husband dude that asked the mean questions to Zelensky? Why is the guy getting to ask 50 million questions?
We've seen over the last couple incidents. One more question, if I could. A lot
Our
of these,
boyfriend of who?
These trans shooters that we've seen
Margaret
over the
Taylor
last
Greene?
couple incidents. This flag right here is up and down 14th Street. This is what would be the trans flag. A lot of people are very threatened by this flag. It means a lot of different negative things to people.
People are now threatened by the trans flag? What more do you want? Didn't we ban all the medication? Didn't we ban all the how much more? Like, they're not in the NCAA anymore. Didn't we ban them from? What else do we need? Jesus Christ!
A trans flag. A lot of people are very threatened by this flag. It means a lot of different negative things to people. Violence. Would you be opposed to taking this flag down up and down the streets of DC?
Well, I wouldn't be. Then they'll sue and they'll get freedom of speech stuff. So that'll happen. But I would have no problem with it. I will say, and Steve might. I wouldn't be. Then they'll sue and they'll get freedom of speech stuff. So that'll happen. But I would have no problem with it. I will say, and Steve might just mention this. Todd, you might mention it too, because we're putting out an order. Freedom of speech means you can burn the American flag, which I think is horrible. But I noticed something over the last little while. As you do this, you start noticing things that you wouldn't normally think. It really causes unrest and violence when they burn American flag. So the American flag, I wanted anybody burns the American flag, go to jail based on freedom of speech, goes to jail immediately. But the freedom of speech protected them, right? And that's been argued a couple of times. And it's one of those things. But you know what? Hasn't been argued. We're going to be arguing it, I think, very soon. And that's the violence. They incite violence. So I saw it just yesterday. They burned the American flag, and people that were there were fine. And all of a sudden, they're going crazy. And there's fist fights. It wasn't in Memphis either. But I will say, it incites violence. And I think you just do the exact same thing. Don't use freedom of speech. Use the incitement of violence. I mean, it's really, you got to see, these people were going at it. And, you could burn other things and people just sit there, they fall asleep. You burn the American flag, and you're on both sides. But the level of violence I saw this flag burning cause was incredible. It was an incitement. So I hope you guys are going to be able to do that, Pam, right?
Well, there's also groups called Trans-Tifa. So perhaps if you can label them...
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said? Is that a new organization? Wait, did you hear that? Did he just say Trans-Tifa? What the fuck? Did he say that? No way, right?
You burn the American flag, and you're on both sides. But the level of violence I saw this flag burning cause was incredible. It was an incitement. So I hope you guys are going to be able to do that, Pam, right?
Well, there's also groups called Trans-Tifa. So...
Are there groups called Trans-Tifa? These sound like they exist at the bottom of like a wiki flag thing of like every single conceivable group of the world. There's like 3 people in some Discord channel.
Perhaps if you can label them a domestic terrorist group, then in all reality, you could take that flag down because it would represent the Trans-Tifa.
Well, I think you probably could.
Like, listen to this guy theory crafting how to do political prosecution in the Oval Office. No one is saying anything. Nobody cares. The president is playing along back and forth. I just can't stress how absolutely queer this situation is. Like, this is just the most abnormal, not okay. The fact that people watch stuff like this and it's like normal now, or we're talking about like what else is left to do. Like, this is so far gone. This is so beyond the... This whole press conference said like 7 things that Obama would probably get killed for. Like, this has been an unbelievable... Like, imagine if Obama was talking about, yeah, we're gonna send the National Guard to insert your favorite conservative city here. And we're gonna take, even if the governors don't want it, I don't care. I'm sending the National Guard in. Like, Republicans would lose their minds.
Be sued, and it's okay. I've been sued before a couple of times. You may have seen. Anyway.
Netanyahu said that he doesn't rule out.
Imagine if Obama said that libertarians should be labeled a domestic terror organization, and then they start and he's like, we should go after the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Yeah. Remember how mad they got when we went after the Confederate flag, but we didn't even really go after the Confederate flag. We were just renaming the statues. They lost their fucking minds. They're taking out some of the statues. They lost their fucking minds on that.
Netanyahu said that he doesn't rule out targeting Hamas anywhere they are. You said that you don't want to see Qatar hit again. Are there any guarantees that Qatar...
Well, he won't be hitting in Qatar. As I say, I call it Qatar. You call it Qatar. You're actually more right, but actually you're allowed to go. The Emir said you can say it any way you want, but I've always thought of it as Qatar. I think it's a beautiful sound. And actually they've been a very good ally. And a lot of people don't know that. But he won't be hitting Qatar, but he will be maybe going after. Now, there was an article that I read in a newspaper just about an hour ago where Hamas said they're going to use the 20 hostages as human shields. They're going to bring them up from the dark tunnels, and they're going to put them in the line of fire so that if Israel goes forward, they're going to die. And I thought that was very terrible, and I put out a statement on that. You saw that.
In retrospect, given all of the moving ways that this White House has paid tribute to Charlie Kirk,
right.
Do you think it would have been fitting to lower the flags to half staff when Melissa Orman, the Minnesota House Speaker, was gunned down by an assassin as well?
I'm not familiar. Oh, the who?
Minnesota House Speaker, a Democrat.
Oh.
In retrospect,
it was very terrible, and I put out a statement on that. You saw that.
Charlie Kirk. In retrospect, given all of the moving ways that this White House has paid tribute to Charlie Kirk,
right.
Do you think it would have been fitting to lower the flags to half staff when Melissa Orman, the Minnesota House Speaker, was gunned down by an assassin as well?
I'm not familiar. Oh, the who?
Like, it's just beyond the pale. It's the tactic. If you watch my stream, you're very familiar with this conservative debate tactic. I just had that Gen Z lawyer guy or Gen X lawyer, whatever the fuck guy, use this a tactic against me 3 or 4 or 5 days ago, right? I don't know anything about that. Targeting what? Wait. Wait, fuck. What's the... Wait, this was... I just remembered this. It's the... It reminds me of this.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking? Oh. Hey,
Somebody was killed? Political assassination? What?
The House Speaker was gunned down by an assassin as well.
I'm not familiar.
The Minnesota House Speaker, a Democrat, who was assassinated this summer.
Well, if the governor had asked me to do that, I would have done that. But
it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
The governor of Minnesota didn't ask me. I didn't. I wouldn't have thought of that, but I would have if somebody had asked.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Asked me. People make requests for the lowering of the flag, and oftentimes you have to say no because it would be a lot of lowering. The flag would never be up. Had the governor of Minnesota asked me to do that, I would have done that gladly.
And given the killing of
By the way, Trump refused to call walls, not waltz, walls. He called them whacked out.
On Minnesota, there were a lot of horrific details that came out today about the suspect who's been charged there. Have you called the governor yet or been able to speak to any of them?
I don't know. I call him. He appointed this guy to a position.
I don't want to call him. He appointed him to a position. So it's like kind of sort of true, but not really. There was like some, it was like a apolitical city council thing, I think like 10 or 20 years ago or something, that this like, it's just like the most random shit. And he's like, they ran with this conspiracy that this was actually like a secret Walls hitman, or he was like in some high level position of government. He was just like some random city board of something.
I think the governor of Minnesota is so whacked out. I'm not calling him. Why would I call him?
I'm not calling him. Why would I call him?
I could call him and say, hi, how you doing? The guy doesn't have a clue. He's a mess. So, I could be nice and call him, but why waste time?
Why waste time? Guy's whacked out. Meanwhile,
I didn't. I wouldn't have thought of that, but I would have if somebody had asked me. People make requests.
Like it's just a fucking lie, right? You can just fucking lie right here from the desk. You just say whatever he wants. Rewrites history in real time. Reality Stone. History is whatever I want it to be. It's just unhinged. Like again, imagine, flip it. Imagine Obama. Imagine Joe Biden, right? I showed you that clip the other day where Biden literally reached out to, I want to say it was almost like a QAnon Florida senator. No, or North Carolina, about like the hurricane damage and what FEMA was doing and everything else. It's just that it's not even the measure of the man on both ends here. It's not even remotely the same.
The lowering of the flag, and oftentimes you have to say no because it would be a lot of lowering. The flag would never be up. Had the governor of Minnesota asked me to do that, I would have done that gladly.
And given the killing of Melissa Hortman, the attack on Paul Pelosi, the attack on Gabby Giffords, the attack on the Pennsylvania governor's mansion, why make
find her and tweet at her and thank her for her job, okay? Somebody did that before. Good questions. There's like one non-fucking suck up, at least, in here to ask some actual questions. I think one or two others were asking these questions, but
case that
this is her last day in here, probably.
Giffords, the attack on the Pennsylvania governor's mansion, why make the case that violence is only on one side? It seems to be taking...
I didn't say it's on one side, but I say the radical left causes tremendous violence, and they seem...
Like, reality is whatever I want it to be. I didn't say it was only on one side. The radical left causes tremendous violence. Like, this is like the 1984 changing wars in the middle of the sentence.
To do it in a bigger way, but the radical left really has caused a lot of problems for this country. I really think they hate our country. Okay, yeah, please.
Like, look at how easy it'd be right there to just disavow both sides. She just named like 3 or 4 like assassinations or attempts that were right wing, and he just can't say it, right? And then people look at me and scream, "Destiny, why don't you disavow? Destiny, why don't you disavow?" And the president of the United States, confronted with 3 or 4 actual right wing assassinations or violent attacks, won't just say, "Yeah, not good. We shouldn't do that. I disavow all of it." Won't do it.
This may be related to the RICO work that you're doing, and I'd like to confirm.
And we are really looking at that seriously.
Vice President Vance was speaking with Stephen Miller earlier today about targeting NGOs that they were saying foment violence.
Right.
Is that? Can you speak more to that? And what NGOs specifically are you looking to target, sir?
A number of them. Steve, please.
Yeah, so I believe what you're referring to is there are these nonprofit entities that organize, what the president mentioned, attacks on ICE officers, attacks on Border Patrol agents, organized doxing campaigns, which are a violation of federal law. They break off cement and they bring into riots. They have organized drop points for weapons, organized drop points for gas masks, organized drop points for all the material.
All bullshit. Where are the charges? Where are the indictments? Where has this ever been demonstrated before? All fucking bullshit. Absolute fucking bullshit.
It was necessary to launch a riot. Of course, you saw that during the Black Lives Matter riots.
We did. It was fake. It was a lie and a lie and a lie over and over and over again. Everybody looked at all the Google Maps stuff, all the open source intelligence guy. Everybody was like going through and looking at this shit where you guys were claiming, oh, look at the pallet of bricks. Apparently, I guess people were saying Joe Rogan was a huge, just saying bricks. He's saying all the protests everybody's paid for.
Is going to find out who is paying for it, and they will now be criminally liable for paying for violence.
You know, a new thing that I've been seeing a lot of lately, but never saw it before, is they're walking in with bricks and rocks and everything, and the FBI or the Border Patrol or ICE or the police are grabbing them and taking them away, and that's great. And then they whip out a hammer, and it's a beautiful hammer, really. It's nice. You know, this is not a hammer somebody happens to have. These are serious hammers, beautiful, brand new hammers, and they start breaking up the concrete sidewalks and the granite curbs in many cases. Granite is hard to cut, you know, it's very hard stone. And
okay, I'm not saying this didn't happen, but I don't remember watching this. Did this happen? Were people just attacking the sidewalk? Just like, yeah, it did? Oh, okay. Maybe some people did. I'm thinking of, like, where is it? Hold on. Live footage of Antifa protesters. Where is it? Ah! Like, okay. Maybe, but it might have. There may be where they're people doing. I just didn't see it.
They're banging away and handing out pieces of stone. So instead of having it in bags, they're banging the sidewalk, knocking them. You have to see what some of these sidewalks look like when they finish, and especially the curbs, because the granite curbs are very, very expensive, and they're great, and, you know, very hard. They are almost indestructible, but not when it gets pounded on for 20 minutes by some pretty strong guy. And then they hand out big chunks of stone so that people can throw them at the police and people can drop them off bridges into car windows. No, we have a long way to go, and we're going to make it all good. We're going to make it really safe. This country is going to be safe. We've got almost 3.5 years. Think of that, 3.5 years. It's a long time. It goes quickly. But at the end of that time, I hope one of the many things we can say is that we made our cities safe again. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. TV